people, when they're trying to be hockey players or anything in life, they focus on a lot of the physical parts. So I want to play hockey. So I need to work out. I need to work my shot, work my skating, this, that, the other thing. I need to, maybe it comes down to sleep and all that stuff. And everybody knows, because you've all heard it. Like if you ask anybody, what part of hockey is mental, and people will say, like, without even thinking, oh, it's 80%, it's 90%. Even if it was 10%, right? Whatever the number is, no one even really knows, right? But if you were to say it's whatever the number is, it's 80% mental. The next question is, well, how? So you should be training 80% mental. You should be training equivalent, or so. What I would say is that people train, if they train mental training at all, would be 0 to maybe 1%. Would you agree with that, or would you say more?
Wholeheartedly. Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
I mean, that's we're all missing the boat. We all know the importance, and Ken Dryden said hockey is 80% mental and the rest is in your head. So, right? The kids today, they have a power skating coach. They've got a shooting coach. They've got their regular coaches that they work with. They might have a nutritionist, and then in the gym, they've got a fitness coach. At the very end of all that, might be, and in most cases not, a mindset coach or a mental coach, a mental strength coach. Because what I think is, if you lose confidence, the rest goes to shit.
Well, we've both been there.
Okay, so you can practice all you want, and we've seen this. There's a lot of great practice players, right? They shine in practice. Get them into a game, you can't find them. Is that physical? No. It's mental. So they're not working on, and this is the great thing about what I'm doing with these kids is I'm adding that missing piece, because nobody shows them this stuff. They certainly don't learn it at school. It's expected of coaches at a younger age. Well, you got to be mentally tough, I was talking to that coach the other day. Well, just take their phones away, then they're
tough enough.
They'll do what you want if you take their phone away. Come on, I mean, you need tools. So you got to coach it. So you got to understand how the brain works. You got to understand how focus works. You got to understand how the whole body and like the association. Right? I work a lot on neuro-association, right? So the words that you speak have a brain reaction. The way that you move has a brain reaction. And you can build these over time to really strengthen the power so that when you come up against a roadblock, you're just ready to go around it. You don't see the roadblock anymore. You're looking for the opportunities to get around and keep going. And a lot of people, they hit that roadblock and they're done. Like mentally, they're done, they're drained. And when the brain goes, the body follows. So as much as you want to put the effort into the gym and doing everything else, they need to put as much or more effort into mental strength training. And there's guys like me out there that give you the tools to do it. And that's the key. I mean, we can go into a deep dive into their psyche about, why this is happening. Well, if you want instant change, here's how you do it. But then you need to apply it. Okay, you need to set up your day every day with the habits and rituals that will eventually get you to where you need to go. So once you create the habits, and I've said this all, many, many times before, first you create the habits and then the habits create you. So you need to put these things in place, then you need to have patience, and that's the key. Because everybody today is like instant results. I get it, but it's going to take time because this is a muscle that they haven't flexed, up till now. So
yeah, it's not magic.
It's not magic, but it can be if they apply it in the right time, right? So when I'm working with the kids and so we prepare them, right? When this happens, this is how you respond, because normally there's an automatic response, right? What I'm talking about, that neuro-association. Referee makes a bad call. What does everybody do? Fly off the handle, slam sticks, all that sort of stuff. That's the neuro-association that they currently have. So why don't we anticipate the next time the referee makes a bad call, and then let's change our reaction to this and see how you feel. And then if you institute that enough, eventually you just roll through it, all right? Referees are going to make bad calls. Coaches are going to make, wrong decisions. Let's just expect it. And I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to, miss an open net. So instead of slamming my stick or getting mad and then, all right, just expect it. Okay. I'm not going to be perfect. And that's, a lot of the kids are under the perception that they have to be perfect, that they can't make mistakes because, this is the pressure that they're under.
And it starts like, I can, well, I'm thinking 12, easy. We look at some of the teams around here and coaches come in and this guy's shit. This guy, he can't get the puck out, over and over. And it's like they start expecting perfection when kids are young. But I can understand it, especially now that I watch my son in that big environment of the OHL where the stakes are higher, right? It's your school's paid for. You're trying to be a pro. Coaches are getting paid. He wants to move to the NHL mostly. So now when you make a mistake, it's like, well, maybe I'm not ready for this league. So it's
right.
like,
it's amplified.
It's amplified. That's
right.
the word I was going to use.
Right.
So now like I can understand it there, but then we have to you got to be able to turn that off.
You have to refocus.
Yep. So what I'm going to just say I'm going to give you my philosophy on mindset, and it's very, very small, but it's effective to a certain degree. And I want you to maybe take that a little bit farther because with your experience and how you're coaching through it, and then maybe we can look at like maybe some of the most common things that you see from a player when you're talking to them, or maybe even yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, when it's very, very basic, but it's true. What the hell is mental toughness, right? It's like confidence is part of it. How do you not lose your confidence and stuff? But it's being able to perform when something's important and it matters to you, right? So can you perform through when something's matter and it means something to you? And then it's being able to stay present. So in my experience, the biggest thing that people do is, we do it with podcasts. If I think, oh, this has got to be a good podcast, if I think too much about it, like, what are you going to do about it? Right. So if you have a big, like you'll hear parents say, big game tonight, big tournament, big event. So what happens is the kids make this thing bigger than actually what it is. And it's like, you have zero control of how big it's going to be. The bottom line is all you can do is what you can do when you're there. So nothing is really that big.
You nailed it. Can I just say that?
Yeah, for sure.
You nailed what mental strength is, and that is being present, staying in the present. That is the key to it all. Honestly, it's about where your focus goes, look at the brain is wired. The brain is wired to look for what's wrong, to protect you. So it's always looking for, things lurking around the corner.
Yeah.
It's
hear
always,
a noise, right?
Out in the future. It's worried about what could happen there. You make a mistake, it's thinking about what happened in the past. The brain is always looking to protect you. So the key to mental strength, and as you said, is being able to stay in the present. So when a mistake happens, it's gone, reset, and now I got to do this. What I tell the players is, you always have to focus on the task at hand, because the task at hand is in the present. Okay, what do I need to do right now?
Which
what
you
can
control. Control what you can control. That's
exactly right. Because you got to let that go. If a mistake happens, the brain wants to stay there.
Yep.
Right. It wants to analyze it. Wants to figure out why that happened. It wants to punish you for making the mistake. Your job in mindset and mental strength is being able to control your focus. So not to get ahead, right? When everybody's talking about we have to win this game, or this is a big year, this is a big game, a big tournament, not to get ahead, but to stay right in the moment, because in the moment is what you can control. And this is what people need to understand. There's only two things that they can control. One being focus and the other being behaviors. In the middle of all that, after focus, it becomes your thoughts. Thoughts lead to emotions. Emotions lead to body sensations. So, for instance, if you're nervous, okay, you have butterflies. That's the body sensations. Why? Because you're focused on something that's in the future, right? The unknown. It creates thoughts of, oh, this, either this is big or I can't make a mistake or whatever. Leads to the emotions, which means I start, like nervousness and so on. Then body sensations. You can still perform, Because normally players, after the first couple of shifts, oh, the nerves go away. Well, why is that? Because now you're into it.
You're in the moment.
Right. Now you're into the moment. Why not get in the moment before the game? Right? Why are you setting your focus up into the future? If you can control your focus, you're always going to be present. You're always going to be in peak performance mode, and you can always control what's going on. So that's, it's a misnomer that, okay, the self-talk and all this, negative things going on in my head, I can't control. Absolutely, you can control it. It's just based on exactly where you're focused in that moment. So once you become aware of it, well, then change it. But you have to practice this. It's a routine that you have to set and do.
Okay, so